Welcome, welcome, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I am Claudia Borges, and I'm just here in the most amazing place. This is a very small town called Port Colborne in Canada. There's no snow out anymore in Canada. Global warming, look at that, it's all green. And it's so beautiful to meet up with you in Mentor Monday. This is the time where we have people from all over the world to learn and to come together so we can have one thing in common, which is we are ready to absorb anything that this great mentor of ours has to give us. And I'm so excited. I'm so excited. When we created Mentor Monday, I remember Dave said, Monday is the beginning of everything. Is like the beginning of a new week, of new hope. Doesn't matter what happened over last week or the month before in your numbers in your life. Monday is that I wake up and I can take the world. and that's what he does. Dave and Gabby do it so well. They wake up and take the world every Monday. And when I say take the world, I say take the world because this man and this wonderful woman are leading over 100, and I don't know, I always say to 100 countries, but it's got to be like 125 countries. Can you imagine, Jillian, can you imagine getting calls from like 100 different countries from people? And it's incredible. So I don't want to take any longer. I really just want everybody to feel welcome. We have Sherry, who is one of our guests, to feel at home, to meet the community, and to know what For Life, and not the For Life as a company, but the For Life community is about. So with that, Dave, you got the mic. We are ready to learn. We're ready, ready, ready.
Thank you, Claudia. Thank you, everyone, for joining in today. Here we are, February 12th, Monday, February 12th. And this month, we're talking a lot about action. Everything that I've learned over 42 years in this industry of networking, I've learned from other mentors of mine and even downline. I learned from my downline. I'll watch them do something, say something, and I'm like, I think, you know what? I'm going to take that. I'm going to take it and use it. So a lot of the things I say, in fact, I probably say 90% of what I say, I learned from others. There's some things that I kind of came up with myself and thought, this is really good. I think I'm going to talk about this or share this. I'm a fan of one-liners. I love one-liners. You've all heard me say things like it's easier to give birth than raise the dead, although I think a lot of women might disagree with me. But nevertheless, when it comes to building this business, we're looking for people that are ready to either change their life or ready to start using products that have a positive impact on their life, bringing value to their life. Using our For Life products, transfer factor products, and this new product that's coming out, by the way, in April. I'm very excited about it. It's the only one on the planet that's this innovative with anti-aging. So I'm very excited. So in taking action, this is what we're talking about all month of February. Many of you have heard me say, knowledge creates confidence. Confidence creates action, and it's the action that creates results. And excuse my baby back there. And so to create the action, people will tend to take more action when they know what they're talking about. If you don't know what you're talking about and you're trying to share something with someone, at the end of it, both of you pretty much just like, yeah, okay, whatever. You don't have the results you're looking for. And that's what this is all about. Why are you building a business? To get results. How do you get results? Through action. What creates the action? Confidence. How do you get that confidence? Knowledge. So a couple of points that I want to talk about today on this Mentor Monday is getting to that action, building that confidence. It all begins with storytelling. All right. You might have heard another one-liner that I love is facts tell and stories sell. People love stories. Now, I can give you all kinds of facts. Transfer factor activates the immune system within 2 hours of taking it. Transfer factor raises your natural killer cell activity by 437%. I can give you all this data, these facts. But for most people, it goes in one ear, not the other. Like, okay, that sounds wonderful. But when they hear a story, a compelling story that someone either A, He's using the products. They fell in love with the products. And I've got my own story. All right. I had Crohn's disease. Many of you know that back in 1998. And the reason that someone even reached out to me, which I'm very grateful for, was because he knew I had this condition. Didn't know that I really wanted to get into the business. Now, he mentioned it to me, but my story, many of you know it, is that I started using the products in September of 1998, transfer factor. When I learned about what transfer factor is, I started working on my story. I thought, okay, this product in 2 months literally turned my many years, what was it, from 1990 to 8 years of suffering from that condition, it turned my life around. So I thought to myself, how am I going to tell people about this? Now I can tell them my story, but at the same time, people say, well, what is it? Tell me about it. So I had to come up with a simplistic way to talk to people. But here's what's important, you guys, very important. When you're in action, when you're storytelling, when you're talking to people, guess what they buy first? You. They buy you first. They buy how they feel about you. All right. Gabby said this, and I've learned this from Gabby. If someone likes you, they'll buy something from you. If they trust you, they'll do business with you. So that's all part of the process. So when you're talking to someone, you get good at your storytelling. How do you get good at it? By practicing. I mean, I practiced in the mirror when I started. Didn't have my ode and my dog, so I practiced in the mirror, practiced to myself, getting my story down. But I understood what people were going to buy was not just what I said. So here's another point. It's not just what you say, it's how you say it. So if you're sharing something with someone, share it with enthusiasm, with excitement, all right? Or at least with curiosity, where someone's like, well, that sounds quite interesting. I want to know more about that. So when I learned about transfer factor, one of the things that really I thought was quite interesting to me, and I didn't really think about it before, we all have something called an immune system. And I know that we don't call somebody up and say, hey, Sonia, hey, Bancy, hey, Sherry, how's your immune system today? You know, we just don't talk about it a whole lot. Now, when COVID hit, it was a big topic. In fact, to the point, I'm seeing commercials on TV, these guys standing in a field of cranberries, was that cranberry juice, I forget the name now, saying, and it's good for the immune system. Everybody's talking about the immune system during COVID. Well, I think there's much more of an awareness now about immunity. In fact, Dr. Ronnie's got that book that she's working on, Age of Immunity. But in talking about the immune system, the one thing I realized with transfer factor in my storytelling, when I talk to someone, it creates curiosity. We all have a system. That system is designed to protect us, to protect you against threats. All right. Whatever they may be, parasitic, bacterial, viral, fungal, your system protects you. But it can't protect you if it can't identify the enemy. So that's one of the number one tasks of your immune system. So when I'm storytelling, talking to someone, I say, there's only one thing on this planet that we know of at this point that literally can provide immune knowledge, can literally educate your immune system to identify threats. And now we know that it activates, this is through clinical studies, activates your immune system within 2 hours of taking it. So it activates the immune system to recognize threats, respond. What's an immune response? Well, guess why did some people die from COVID and some people didn't? Because some people had a quick enough immune response to defend themselves. But if you don't have that immune response, you're toast. All right. So the whole purpose of this system of ours is to respond to the threat. And wouldn't it be cool if you could actually educate your system to remember the threat? Now, we haven't gotten to a point where you can literally, educate your immune system and it's 100% forever. All right. I think the only thing I know of like that might be polio vaccine. All right. But that's why I tell people, look, transfer factor is something you take throughout your lifetime. Why? Because immune cells die and new immune cells have to be born. All right. And so you have to have this education. It's like antibodies don't last forever. All right. So you want to keep your immune system educated. So now, here's what's cool about transfer factor, what I love about this. We do have pure transfer factor. We're the only ones that have this pure transfer factor that you get through a proprietary patented technology that takes it from raw material, which is colostrum and egg yolk, into the pure molecule. And some people call it miracle molecule. All right. In fact, one of our golds she calls her team the immunity community. And that's basically what she calls her team as she's building her for life business. All right. So here we've got this immune molecule, what we've done at For Life through science. And by the way, if somebody says, what makes your company different than other companies? I'll tell you what makes us different. Science. We challenge science, just like Apple, Apple computers, you know, people bet, and I don't recall seeing this commercial recently, but the commercial of throwing a big hammer through a glass, say they challenge the status quo. Apple people love Apple. They're not going to go anywhere else. They love Apple. They love the brand. They love the computer. Right? Well, For Life challenges science. If you don't challenge science, you're not going to develop. You're not going to grow. You're not going to learn anything. You always have to question and challenge science. That's how we develop and grow. So For Life, through this proprietary technology, has learned that we can take these transfer factor molecules and we can actually apply it to other systems of the body, be it cardiovascular, reproductive, nervous system, all kinds of respiratory system. Well, now we have products that are called lung, KBU, which is kidney, bladder, urinary, recall for the brain. They probably should have called that transfer factor brain, but it's called recall because it helps with memory. All right. We've got glucose. All right. Because people talk about glucose. That's a big thing, by the way, glucose. How do you keep your glucose levels normal? Take glucose. That will help tremendously. So we've got these products now that bring a positive impact to your life. Then we categorize some of them into areas like transform. We've got a hydrolyzed protein. You want to build lean muscle, burn fat? Many of you have seen my picture. How did I get at my age to be so lean and mean? I did it by using the ProTF protein. And sure, I for 55 minutes, I would work out 3 times a day, 3 times, not a day, sorry, 3 times a week. 3 times a week I would work out and I would take the protein. It helps burn fat and build lean muscle. That was proven through studies at Auburn, big university, Auburn University. So again, part of my storytelling when I talk to people, I let people know, you don't have to believe what I'm saying. Our products have been studied at universities, pharmaceutical companies, institutions, third-party institutions that prove that what we say our product does, it does. And that's what's important. There's a lot of products out there that are just a bunch of garbage. All right. So I tell people, you're not going to know unless you try the products. But we've got transform products, Renuvo, one of my favorite products. If you guys ever travel anywhere, you've got to take Renuvo. It's great for jet lag. It's got a lot of adaptogens in it, ashwagandha, rhodiola, but it helps you adapt and it helps you recover much quicker. So if you have an active lifestyle, if you're going to the gym, you're working out, you're quite active, take Renuvo. It's great for recovery. If you're working out, you're playing sports, take Presume. That's a pre-workout. It's a great energy product. But if you just want pure energy throughout the day, don't drink Monster. Don't drink Red Bull. It's garbage. It's trash. Use For Life's Transfer Factor Energy Go Sticks. Take our Go Sticks. Just try one Go Sticks and see how you feel. All right. So here we've got these products that have a positive impact on your life. Again, action. I would encourage all of you, take the time to know your company, know your product, and how you make money. So let's talk about these real quick, because that's what I do. When I kind of it's all like in compartments. I compartmentalize, all this. And when I talk to someone, to me, it's like playing chess. All right. So when I'm in action, and by the way, I enjoy action. I find it a lot of fun talking to someone, conversing. So when you have knowledge and you're confident, it's fun. If I'm getting my hair cut, I signed up Michelle. She bought a Fast Start. All right. I never knew her before she was cutting my hair last month, in December. I sign up people all the time, every day, because it's fun. Well, to me, it's like playing chess. I don't have a canned, or like I'm reading something to someone. let me tell you about For Life. For Life has been in business for 25 years. No, that's not what I do. For me, it's like playing chess. I make a move, you make a move. I make a move, you make a move. My move depends on your move. If I'm talking to someone and I'm saying, hey, I just came across something I want to share with you. There's a new product on the market called Transfer Factor. Have you heard of it? Or I could say there's a company that's doing quite well, a global company where people are actually making some really good money with this product called Transfer Factor. Have you heard of it? And you're going to find that still you're talking maybe 95 out of 100, maybe 96 out of 100 are going to say no. I've never heard of Transfer Factor. What is it? Well, now you can tell them about it. All right. But sometimes people ask me about the business. Now, I had someone, Michelle is a good example. She basically sent me a text saying, I'm looking for a career change. She's been a hairstylist for, I don't know, 20 years, something like that. She says she's looking for a change, a career change. Great. Let's talk about building a home-based business right from your home using the tools that you don't have to pay for. They've been created for you. Application, website for e-commerce, the Zoom, the team getting together, Mentor Monday, opportunity calls, all these tools that are at your disposal, ready for you to use to build your business. So I talk to people all the time about home-based business. I talk to people all the time about health and wellness. The health and wellness industry is a $1 trillion industry. It's a $4 trillion industry. And I remember back in the early 90s, we were talking about Paul Zane Pilzer saying that he's a world-renowned economist, saying that the health and wellness industry will be a $1 trillion industry. It's over 4 now, all right? Everything from anti-aging, general wellness, immunity, weight loss, skincare, that's all wellness. It's a huge industry. So when I talk to people about business, people, I say, well, you know what? Home-based business sounds good. Now, let's talk about a demographic, by the way. So when I'm in action, my antenna is always up. All right. When I'm out and about, I don't run around with the For Life flag, screaming and jumping up and down. I methodically, when I'm talking to people, I introduce them. At some point, if especially if they're a stranger, we're just chatting. All right. I was at the baseball field recently talking to some guy down there with the kids practicing. And, he's a young guy in his late 20s. And I told him that I was a friend of Edgar Renteria's, the World Series MVP. We got a picture right here of him, that he signed for my son Brandon. But we've known Edgar for many years. And he says, "Wow, Edgar? How do you know Edgar?" Well, start telling them about For Life, tell them about home-based business. So when I'm talking to people again about business, one of the demographics to me that I always pay attention to is women. Now, if we count here, how many women to men we've got on this? We got a few men, Dr. Ogina, JT, we got Jesus is on, but I've never seen more men than women on these calls. All right. Women make up 80% of our industry. 80%, you guys. So why? Well, there's a couple reasons. Men, it's like, okay, I've got my career. I'm an accountant. I'm a lawyer. I've got my mechanic store, or I'm a doctor. And a lot of the women, they basically are domestic engineers. When they start having kids, they don't want to go to work and leave their kids at home. They would prefer to be around their children. So your kid's in kindergarten now or preschool, 4 years old, goes to preschool during that time. You're making your calls. You're inviting people to Zooms. You're doing your own Zooms. You're storytelling. You're in action. Kids come home. Great. You get to create your own schedule. That's what I love about this business. So when I'm talking to people about the business, how would you like to have your own business? Working from home, creating your own schedule on your time, working with a team of people. Everyone's working together where it's fun, synergistic. All right. There's energy. How would you like to do something you get paid for what you start? That's another one of my one-liners I love. Start something you get paid for what you start. Don't just get paid for what you do. Most people go to a job. They quit going to their job. They stop getting paid. No more. It's over. Here, you get paid for what you start. Gabby and I, and many of you, get paid for something you started months, years, decades ago. In my case, I started in 1998, October 20th. I have people today that still buy our products. And every time they make a purchase, some of them are on loyalty, been on loyalty for what, 25 years? Gabby and I get a residual income. How much effort was it to present to them one time? And maybe answer some questions, maybe a couple of calls. You get paid for what you start. How do you like that concept? So I introduce people to all these wonderful concepts. Get paid for what you start, earn while you learn. That's another one I love. So when I'm out in action talking to people, I basically, especially if they're young, a lot of young people today go to school, they graduate and still don't have a clue what they're going to do. In fact, they never get paid, for what they think they're going to get paid. Got a degree in psychology, got a degree in visual communications. Okay, great. So now what? If you put that same time and energy into this, and you really worked at it, and you developed your skills, your social skills, your communication skills, your leadership skills, all these skills, the skill to identify people, the skill to be patient with people. Not everybody's ready, and it's not our job to make everybody ready. We're looking for people that are ready. But if you took those 4 years and applied it here, you would set yourself up for life to make a fortune, because you're going to learn how to build a network, a community, a family. You're going to develop leadership. But guess what our school is? Not one person on this call here went to the University of Network Marketing or the University of Business Building, in our model, our business model or industry. Experience. That's the best education there is. Experience. And I tell people all the time, I say, if you're going to have a heart, surgery on your heart, all right, a bypass, would you rather have someone that spent some time in the operating room practicing, or someone that just sat in a class and that's all they've ever done? They can talk about it all day long. Well, they're experts at talking about it, but they've never done it. I'll take the person that's done it. Experience, all right? That's your best educator. So back to action. The more action we take, the more we learn. The more we learn, the better we get. The better we get, the more confident we get, the more action that we want to take. It's a cycle. It's the cycle of success. And that's what I love about this business. Now, you might say we've got 30 people on this call. Well, Dave, if you've got hundreds of thousands of people in your organization, where are they? Let me tell you where they are. We've got over 240 millionaires, Gabby and I now. From Jeff Altgilbers to Arminio Neiradas to Juan Rosado to Sherry Din to Richard Queck to Dr. Edwin Catarina, Estela Carpio. We've got these people all around the world that are millionaires now. They don't need us. Now, we go visit them, like Gabby and I are planning to go to Ecuador to do an event with Jeff and Juan Esdras Cabrera, one of our other millionaires in the Dominican Republic, to go do an event with Estela and Gloria and the whole team in Ecuador on the 18th of March. All right. So we go out and visit our millionaires and we do events and work with them. But after 25 plus years, and that's what you want, you guys. You want to duplicate your efforts so that eventually these people that you're building, you help them get to diamond. You work with them to get to presidential diamond. You work with them to get to bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. Well, when somebody's making $150,000, $200,000 a month, they don't need you anymore. They're doing their own thing. They're living their own life. They're millionaires, you see. And that's basically my method of building, finding people, working with them. And I'll give you an example. Claudia, we met Claudia many, many years ago. And so Claudia and I and Gabby, we work closely. We've got Jillian with us now, a great team that's developing here. We've got Dr. Ogina that's been with us for a few years in Kenya. Now he's got Trisha and Mercy and Eska, and I see Florence. I see a number of you. Excuse me if I don't mention your name. Susan. Hey, Susan. In Kenya. We got Africa starting to move. All right, getting going now. And then Brazil. That's been a big focus of mine. Right before COVID hit, one of my people that I met, now let's get back to action. There's a story. Everybody's got a story. All of you have a story. How did you get here? How did you get to this Zoom today? What's your story? Who invited you? All right. Well, I sponsored a guy who sponsored someone in Ecuador. The first person I sponsored disappeared. All right. The other guy moved up. Eduardo is his name. Eduardo, he's on level 1 to Gabby and me. He calls me up one day and says, hey, this guy's funny. He comes and goes. He's like, I don't know, just mysterious. He'll show up and say, Dave, I got someone. Can you talk to this person? Sure, I'll talk to anybody. I love talking to people that come to the table if somebody else invites. I'm just a third party validation. So he brings somebody to the table. The guy's name's Freddie. He's a pizza delivery guy in Uruguay. Now, you all know I speak fluent Spanish. So Freddie comes to the table, and I'm talking to Freddie about the business and get him excited. He wants to join. So he joins, buys a couple of bottles of Transfer Factor, gets started. I ask Freddie, do you know anybody in Brazil? Because it turns out that Freddie lives 1 block from the border of Brazil. All right. Well, I know that David Lisenby, our founder, lived in Brazil, loves Brazil. Brazil's open now with an office. So I said, you know anybody in Brazil? If I had not asked that one question, he probably never would have thought about the next person I'm going to mention, Nusi. Nusi, he says, yeah, I know this one lady in Brazil. Let me call her. He calls Nusi, and and I said, Freddie, just get Nusi to come to the table. I'll deliver the 5-course meal. You get her to the table. She comes to the table. I talked to her, and it took a couple of calls, but we got her to buy 1 bottle of product, 1 bottle. That 1 bottle turned her life around. Nusi weighed like 30 something kilos, 70 something pounds. When I met her, when I first went to Brazil, I thought she was like on death's doorstep. She was very, very sick. Well, you see her now, incredibly healthy, doing very well. But when I met Nusi, I told her, Nusi, let's work together doing some Zooms and things like that. If you can get to Diamond, now you all know what Diamond is, 3,000 life points, get to Diamond, I will go to Brazil. I will go there and do some meetings with you and work with you. All right, do a bit of traveling maybe. And by the way, that's investing back in your business. And she made Diamond. And then she went to the convention in Bogota. All right. Well, one problem with the convention in Bogota, they ended up canceling it because of COVID. But the point is, she got to Diamond. All right. I went to Brazil. When I went to Brazil, I met another gentleman down there named Anderson. So now I've got years of work cut out for me with just Anderson and Nusi in Brazil. So for the past 4 years, that's been my focus. We've taken Brazil from basically 0 to doing close to 1 million now. All right, close to 1 million. They're just under 1 million. All right. And they're just finally getting really, really starting to take off. COVID was tough because you couldn't go anywhere. This is an emotional business. So when you're taking action, trust me, you're going to have much better success, belly button to belly button with someone, all right, or face to face, than you will just in a Zoom. But we built Zoom, using virtual meetings. We did it that way for 2 years. Then I went back to Brazil, and then Gabby and I just went back to Brazil again last week. And I've shared with you, many of you, the videos and stuff. In fact, I'm going to log in again. I'll just share just the videos real quick with you guys, because I know we have a couple of new people. I want to share with you what my definition of action is. All right. So I'm going to come in here with my cell phone so I can share. But I love being out taking action with people. But there's a story behind every successful person. So Anderson now, he's just about to bronze. All right. Nusi is a bronze. But here's what's interesting. Their businesses are developing differently. Anderson's doing over a couple 100,000 a month now of business. Nusi is about half of that. Well, how's Nusi a bronze and Anderson's not a bronze? Anderson's spending most of his time developing the downline. Here's another philosophy. When you're taking action as your team grows, and I think many of you really, Jillian, I know you know this, Claudia, Dr. Gina, Tricia, many of you here, Susan. If you're new to this business, you need to apply this philosophy. Upline serves the downline. Downline does not work for the upline. All right. The minute you think your downline works for you, it's going to be the end of your business because you're not going to develop strong relationships with your people. But if you serve your people, you spend your time helping them succeed. You spend your time addressing their needs. You spend your time developing, inspiring, motivating, mentoring, training, educating, all that with your people. You will build a wonderful community, family, and team. That's how this works. So upline serves the downline. So when Gabby and I travel, like going to Ecuador, going to Brazil, we were in Singapore and Malaysia back in October, went to Costa Rica in November. We're traveling the world, all right, working with our people that are out, because I love taking action out in the field. So let me real quick join this here. I apologize, you guys. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna have to go to the website Upline Pro. I don't think I have it linked. Here we go. Calendar. Upline Pro, by the way, that's where the calendar is, you guys. UplinePro.com. The links are right there. You just click on the link. You can even save it to your own calendar. All right. Stay co-host. Okay, let me share my screen with you real quick. This is what I enjoy. This kind of energy. You should be able to see my screen right now. Start broadcast. Sorry. 3, 2, 1, and here we go. Okay, you should see my screen. Albums for Life Brazil. So I want to share with you. So one of our brand new presidential diamonds is Gildenberg. By the way, here's Nusi. She just looks amazing with Gabby there. I mean, she's doing so well. I'm so proud of her. And here's the crazy thing. I get all teary-eyed, get all emotional. And I guess that's one of the things that I love that validates the work that we do, is watching people change their lives. But you can't force them. You cannot be the one to make them change. If they want to change, you can be a facilitator, you can be a motivator, you can be an inspirer, you can do all those things to continue to travel the journey of success. But too many times people throw in the towel, or the upline throws in the towel and gives up on the downline, or the downline throws in the towel, and for whatever reason. But if the two of you travel the journey together, or you and your team, you will climb the mountain of success. You will get to the summit. You'll get to the top. Nusi, I see her posting in the WhatsApp group in Brazil every day. She's very engaged. She's taking action every day in building her business. But I want to share with you here this video. There's Gildenberg, one of our new presidential diamonds. He should be a bronze here possibly this month. But this is what's fun. And I didn't come up with this. They did this. So what they're basically going to say in Portuguese is how sad they are that nobody came out to the event. We had a meeting planned. Gabby and Dave are here, and nobody even showed up.
Fala, galera de todo o Brasil. Estou aqui com o Gil. Fala, Gil.
Tudo bem, Beraldo? O povo aqui é fraco, viu?
Aqui a nossa...
Aqui não vem quase ninguém, não vem quase ninguém.
Cara, que decepção. Não vem ninguém, cara. Hoje, sabadão, 9 horas da noite. Será que não veio? Será que não veio?
So, that's what's fun. There is no substitute for that, and that's why I love live meetings and live events. And I'm not saying that you can't use social media, use Zooms, do all that, but take advantage as well of where you live, where you are. And I understand, like Jillian, you're on an island out there in the Caribbean Ocean, but even then you can get people together, have a home meeting, have a house meeting. You might have 5, 10, 15 people, and you can broadcast that, let other people around the world see you doing that, and that's something that I think there's just no substitute for that. And that's what I'm trying to do here in San Diego, by the way, is get some live events. And I used to do live events quite a bit. We've got a big Spanish group here in San Diego, but they're quite independent. They're under one of our Spanish leaders. Let me share with you, here's another one. And this Anderson, here we are at a radio station, by the way. Anderson took me to do in a little town called Pontapona on the border of Paraguay, inviting people to come to our event that night. And we had a pretty good turnout. There's the event at night. Some people drove for a couple of hours to come to the event to see. That's me in the back there. But there's no substitute for that. I want to get to the end here and just share with you one more. And having a lot of fun traveling around. We had our car packed with luggage, and you couldn't even fit in the car. It was crazy.
Anderson didn't get in the car with this luggage. It's so funny. Poor guy.
So we had a lot of fun. There's Anderson. Now, here's another guy. Didn't know anything, nothing about network marketing, nothing about For Life, nothing about Transfer Factor. He joins, has a vision, a dream. He's got goals he wants to accomplish. He's got 3 kids, his wife, Tatiani. He digs in, gets his story down, starts presenting, talking to people, sharing the story. Now, he's one of the best presenters I've heard. The guy's phenomenal talking to people. There's one of our bronzes, Leandro, in Brazil. Again, there's no substitute for this. The hugs, the handshakes, the laughter, the fun that's there. This. And there's Leandro saying goodbye. He's going to head back home. There's Anderson and I getting on the plane. We hit 10 cities in 15 days, basically. We were late to this one. We were 3 hours late, and these people hung around because it was storming. We had to change airports. We missed a flight. They transported us to another airport. 3 hours late, and still they waited. This picture's being taken after 11 o'clock at night, you guys. I was blown away that they hung around and waited for us. She's a hairstylist as well. One of our presidential diamonds, Arlegi's her name. And then we took off to our last place, Fortaleza. You gotta try the food too in different countries. Have fun, try the food. Went and had some fresh fish. Did the last meeting right here. I want to show you guys this video. Here's Anderson, by the way, at the last meeting. He left his jacket and his tie at the previous location. But here we go.
Fala galera, tudo bem? Nós estamos aqui na cidade de Fortaleza. Que pena, hein, Anderson? Que pena.
Foi triste.
Vídeo tão bonito que o Beraldo e o Gildenberg fizeram lá no evento, na cidade deles, e aqui a gente não conseguiu superar o evento deles. Né?
Quase nada, né, gente?
Só vê essa galera!
So the point that I want to make is that, look, action can be applied in many different ways. When I started For Life in 1998, I had no car. I had no furniture. Seriously, I was sleeping on a futon on the floor. I was dating Gabby. Gabby was my girlfriend at the time. She had a job. She was managing a vision center inside of Walmart, National Vision. She was the manager there. In fact, that's how I met her. She sold me glasses. And so my life at that time was, honestly, it was depressing. I couldn't even afford the $400 to pay rent. I had a friend help me out. I had a friend help me get my first car that I got. I'd been through a divorce. I lost everything. Started life all over again. All right. I was 38 years old. So when I started, what I had to develop first, you guys, was my ability to call people on the phone and tell them about this product, Transfer Factor, this new company, For Life. Now, I did look for networkers. I was looking for people in the network marketing industry because I'd been in the industry before, but I didn't want to bring anybody from a previous company that I was in because it was bad blood, bad culture. The company went down because they didn't put people first. They put money first. Money's important, but if you put money before people, you're going to lose your people. And that's what happened. Bad culture, bad blood, just people I didn't even want to be associated with. So I started from zero. But I did ask a question all the time. Anytime I talk to someone, Sherry, do you know anybody that's been involved in the network marketing industry? Do you know anybody that's been involved in sales? Any business people? I'm starting a business and I'm looking for people that might want to be a business partner. And I got referrals that way. And one person gave me a name, another person. So my antennas were always up. My job was to go on a scavenger hunt and look for people that would like to get involved with me in business. Now, in that process of looking for people to build the business, I found customers. I found people that said, oh, I'll use the product, but they didn't want to, maybe whatever they were doing in life, life's too busy for whatever reason. But I would always try to get them to use my product, especially if they were friends or family or people that knew me. One of the cards that I played a lot when I was taking action in the beginning, I'm your friend. I'm broke. Support me. If I had a taco shop, I hope you come buy a taco from me. You know, I would tell them that. I had no problem telling them, look, support. And I've got a lot of customers today for 25 years. They still use the products because they fell in love with the products. But when I told them about it, I was desperate. And I know people join this business usually out of one or two reasons, inspiration or desperation. For me, it was desperation. All right. So when I started, it became my ability to look for people interested in the business. If they weren't, would you try my product? If not, fine, and move on. Next. But I had a system, you guys. I had a system. And my system was on paper. And I've held up my stack of yellow pads. I got them stored away now. I had them on my floor here next to my sofa for too long. But I got a whole stack of yellow pads because I didn't even have a computer. I was writing notes. Talked to Sherry Chapman today. She's got a dog named Joey. So next time I call Sherry back, hey, Sherry, how you doing? How's Joey? You know, talked to Trisha today. You know, Trisha's in Kenya. You know, I would always keep notes on someone so that when I called them back, I had something I could begin the conversation about. How's the weather in Kenya? How's your dog Joey? You know, how's your new car that you bought, the new truck? You having fun in your new truck? I would always pay attention to someone I was talking to. You guys, there's a process to building a team, to building a community. It's about people. You take an interest in people. If you take an interest in their needs, trust me, they'll listen to you. If you talk about what they need, if you don't, you'll probably lose them because they're not listening. So my skills, my social communication, all these skills were developed in the beginning, talking to people, asking for referrals all the time. I got one of my platinums as a referral. Many of you know Jeff Outgilbers. You know, he's one of my platinums. That leg alone produces $30 million a month of business. Found him as a referral. Talked to him. He hated network marketing because the company he was with went down. It failed. You know what I told Jeff? I said, Jeff, come on. You and I have been doing network marketing before. We know that when a company fails, it's not because of the business model. It's because the people that ran the company didn't know what they were doing. The people failed you. The company failed you. The business of networking, the concept of getting paid for what you start, the partnership of you going out and building while they do what they're supposed to do, the administrating. They didn't do their job. They didn't administrate. They may have changed their pay plan 20 times, or they got into debt and they couldn't pay their debt. Look at Tupperware. You guys, Tupperware is bankrupt right now. So, you know, the business model, I told Jeff, is amazing when you have the right partner. It's like marriage. You marry the right person, you got a wonderful relationship. You marry the wrong person, you don't have a good relationship. That's how this business works. So I was able to inspire, influence, I don't like to say convince, Jeff enough to say, and this, by the way, you guys, this happened between Christmas Day and New Year's 1998. When everyone says, why are you talking to people? Nobody cares. If I had not been on the phone between Christmas and New Year's, I never would have gotten Jeff. That's 30 million a month of business, you guys. Now, Jeff didn't create the 30 million a month. He participated. So when I'm taking action, I'm going to come to an end here. My work is three things, and then I'll finish on this and I want to pass it to Gabby. Three things I'm doing. So put this in your memory bank, write it down. Three things. One, talking to people for yourself because you're just getting started. You're not sponsored anybody yet. Trisha, who's with us today, she sponsored people. She talked to them for her to sponsor someone. So that's number one. You spend time talking to people for yourself. I still do that. Now, I don't have to do it as much because number two, once you sponsor somebody, you start talking to people with your people. I don't want to say for your people because if you do the work for them, and in the beginning, and even sometimes like Anderson, sometimes he would tell me, Dave, I feel like I'm doing everybody's work. I'm doing it all for them. You do. Because as you work the downline, you're going to find some people show up to your meetings. They're on level 2, 3, 4, 5, way down there. They're showing up. They're working hard. The people in between are MIA, missing in action. They're gone. So you feel like you're building their business. You are. It's okay. That's why I love this business because everything rolls up eventually. As you build leadership, it rolls up. You get paid, whether it's up here or down here. So, number two, talking to people with your people. How many of you are doing that? That's so important. That is a skill that you develop called leadership. Service. When I say leadership, it doesn't mean you have an attitude like I'm better than you, I'm a leader. No, you're serving your people. If you've prepared well and you can story tell and you can share your story, you can talk about 4 Life Transfer Factor, you can do that. And by the way, next week we're going to get into the presentation more. We're going to go through the bullets of the presentation. All right. But when you're sharing with people, many times you're a third-party validator because they bring the people to the table, you're presenting with them. How would you like it if your phone was ringing all day long and people are coming to you, hey, Erica, I've got Joe. Hey, Erica, I've got Mary. Erica, and they're bringing people to the table and you're just spending your day talking to your people's people and your business is growing. That's number 2. And I do that all the time. That's really, now it's like 90% of my business is talking to people's people. And number 3, the fortune is in the follow-up. The fortune is in the follow-up. You see, talking to people, okay, it's talking to people. But if you don't follow up with them, if you don't have a system in place where you can call them, because if you're just doing this, one and done, talk to you one time and move on, it's going to be a long time before you build yourself a community, a team, a network. All right. You have to have a system of following up. You get back to them and you say, hey, and when you get back to somebody, you have a story, another story. You see, my story when I first started was I'm so broke, I can't pay attention. I need you to help me. All right. Then when I became a presidential diamond, it's like, hey, my business is now national. I got people around the country that are on my team that are joining me. Then when I had somebody that signed up outside the country, it's like, my business is international. Then when I went on the first trip, calling some people back up saying, hey, company just paid for my wife and I go on a trip, Mediterranean cruise. Then when I got the $5,000 a month, telling people making $5,000, got to 10, making 10, 20, making 20. When I broke 100,000 back in 2006, we went platinum, broke $100,000 a month in 2006. Now the story's totally different. Now you're making over $1 million a year. But you know what I found out? Some people don't care. He could be making $1 billion a year. Some people don't care. You know what? Those are the ones that's easier to give birth and raise the dead. Leave them alone. All right. But I try not to play that card now. I try not to talk about $1 million plus a year of income because a lot of people can't relate to it. I like getting back to the 5,000, 1,000, the 2,000. All right. Because you got to make 1,000 to make 100,000. But again, those 3 things, you guys, talking to people for yourself, talking to people for your people, and follow up, follow up, follow up. And the follow-up doesn't just mean following up for you. You're helping your people follow up. I talked to Anderson just the other day on Saturday. And I said, Anderson, how's so-and-so? How's so-and-so? How's so-and-so? I bring the names up, because I talked to them, whether I was down in Brazil with Gabby just last month, or we talked to them in the past. I'm always asking him, reminding him, did you follow up with this person? Did you get back to them? And here's the funny thing. Anderson told me, I wish he was on this call right now. I don't think he's on. I would ask him this question. Anderson, what were you doing on Saturday? Now, something just started in Brazil. Every year they have this. People just go crazy. It's like the whole rest of the month. All they're doing is this. Anybody know what that is? Starts with a C. It's called Carnival. They've got Carnival in Brazil. So nobody's talking about it. Everyone's kind of gone. They're all having fun, vacationing, all right? In some of the places, it's the entire month they're taking off. You know what Anderson's doing? Follow-up. He goes, Dave, can you just please talk to this person with me? I just want you to say hi to him. He's in Utah. He's a Brazilian in Utah. He just bought like 600 life points of product, just 30 minutes ago. And I get on the phone. This guy wants to talk English, and he talks fair, broken but fair. He wants to talk English with me because he's in Utah. He's a CPA. He's got 20 employees in Brazil, and he just got this crazy idea that he wants to come live in the US. But he can't have employment right now because he's getting his, I forget what you call it, the special, with the government. But he's here, like on a tourist visa, I guess. But he wants to get signed up. At least he can do 4Life because he has a Brazilian ID. That's pretty smart. Think about it. Sign up in Brazil. You got a Brazilian ID. You get your pay in Brazil, put it in your Brazil bank, use your ATM up in Utah to take your money out. And he's like, Dave, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to my employees, get them all signed up. He's got this whole plan of action. Anderson found this guy because he followed up. He talked to him 2 years ago. Guy wasn't ready. Now he's ready. You see, things change, you guys. So we're constantly looking for people that are ready. Having said that, next week we're going to get into the presentation more, the nuts and bolts. But stories sell, facts tell. People are more interested in your story than they're interested in knowing all the facts about how transfer factor works. If you get a doctor, a medical person, a technical person, sure, they're going to ask all the questions, and you have to have those bullets ready. But for the most part, it's stories. People love stories. So with that, I'm going to pass it to Gabby to finish up. Love you guys. Thanks for joining in today for a Mentor Monday. These are Mentor Mondays. These are not opportunity presentations. All right. It's designed for mentorship, for training, educating, and having fun. Hope you're having fun. So anyhow, I'm going to pass it to Gabby to finish us up, sweetie.
Thank you, Dave. It's always very entertaining to see how our travels, the memories, the memories we make with our distributors, and it's always fun. And while we were on our trip, I did follow up with our active affiliates, and you have to also follow up with your active affiliates. I often see our distributors from around the world on their social media. So I'll make comments. I'll even send them a private message offering and extending our help, Dave and I, our help to help them grow their business. Because even though we do see them maybe once a year in their country, I'm talking about Asia, Malaysia, Singapore. I think those are the only two that we went to travel to in October. But while we were in Malaysia, we had this amazing dinner with our team there, with Dr. Uy, Dr. Tham, and Kai Shin. Kai Shin's their son, and he's the youngest gold ever in For Life. He was 23 years old when he became a gold. And his parents, Dr. Tham and Dr. Uy, also are gold. So they have a really nice team. And they have, anyway, they had dinner with us. We actually traveled to Penang, Malaysia, to go have a meeting with them. But I reminded Kai Shin that he is the youngest gold in For Life at 23 years old. And obviously, he hasn't qualified as gold in a few years. And I reminded him, you have the team, you have the language, you speak English and Chinese. You've made it before to gold. So, what's stopping you from becoming a gold again? And then a platinum. Sometimes you have to take your leaders aside and remind them of what they've accomplished, and they can keep accomplishing. Same goes with any of your leaders. You identify the people that you see potential. You see and what I mean by potential is, do they take the product? Yes. Are they on the loyalty program? Are they encouraging others to be on the loyalty program? And the only reason you want to be on the loyalty program is because there's so many benefits. And I mean, who doesn't want free product, right? Who doesn't want to earn points to get more free product? Who doesn't want to, get that extra bonus? That's why it's so important that you do talk about the benefits of the loyalty program to your new prospects. The benefits also of this amazing app that we have. I was speaking to one of my friends from high school. I was texting her because she's in a different MLM company. And I sent her some information on our company, and she was looking at the information I sent her through the app. And I asked her, do you have an app like this in your company? And she said, we do, but it's not this nice. So we have everything on our app. And if you do not know how to use the app, it's so easy to use. It's so easy to send information. It's so easy to change your loyalty program products. It's just a matter of you using it to build your business. During COVID, this app was a lifesaver because you could actually help build your business just by sending information, just by sharing what transfer factor is. So there's basically so much on this app that you could send to different countries as you know, based on where the prospects are. So if you're not familiar with it and you are an affiliate, because only affiliates can have this app, by the way, you have to have a distributor ID, but play with your app, you know, let's say, you know, send it to your family first, send it just to see what, you know, what, when they open the app, what they see. Send videos, send information. There's so much on it. I mean, that's another training, right? If you want to, let me see how many people are on here. Okay, I think most of you do know how to use the app, but if you do not, please reach out to us and we'll do a training on that. So convention is coming up pretty fast here in April. So if you want to attend convention and have not bought your tickets, please do so. And also book your flight and book your hotel as soon as possible, because they do go fast. And there's a lot of hotels around Utah and around the convention. So there are preferred hotels are the one closest to the convention, which is the Salt Lake, Salt Palace. Yes, Dave, go ahead.
Before we finish, I just want to share just one last thing with everyone. I was looking at my phone here, and since we're storytelling,
Wait, you muted. You're muted.
yeah, I just want to share one last thing with everybody before we finish. That's all.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So you guys, you know, stories, because you know, Gabby and I've been involved with For Life now. We're in year 26. I was 38 years old when I joined. I had dark hair. And in looking, you know, I just happened, as I was going through showing you guys the Brazil trip, came across this. I want to share this with you because, you know, this is all about stories and memories. And I look at some of this and it just, it hit me. It probably hits me more than it hits you. But I'm just going to share a couple of pictures here with you real quick. This goes back to the very beginning of For Life. That's me right there. All right. You know, one of the I think it was our first convention we had in 2001. And this is Arminio. He'd probably been signed up for just a few months. Now Arminio, many of you might know, you know, he's probably made $100 million in For Life so far. Here's Juan. And this is when Juan actually made, if you can see right there, that's international diamond. So that's equivalent today, we call it bronze. That's when he made bronze. Okay, this gentleman, Indra. What's Indra here? Presidential diamond. Okay, he made presidential. Indra's deceased, he passed away. He left to his family, because I saw the report over the weekend. I was looking at some of the downline reports. He left his family a multi-million-dollar business. If I had to guess what their income is, his kids, they probably get about $30,000 to $40,000 a month of income. And they're in Australia. So that's even better. All right. He left a $500,000 a year income to his kids. This isn't just about you. It's about your legacy. If you get in and you work hard, we're talking about actions, work, all right, you'll build a legacy, and that legacy will last. That's what I love about For Life. You're building something that will last. Okay. She's deceased. Passed away last year, October. Bonnie Taylor. When she joined For Life, she was in her 60s. 25 years later, probably going on 90 years old, she passed away. Here she is with our son, Brandon. Now, many of you know Brandon today. He's 24 years old. All right. He was born in 2000. Here she is holding Brandon. She actually babysat for Gabby. She's not even in our downline. She's cross-line, by the way. She made platinum. She's one of the only platinums actually in For Life that was not in our downline, and Gabby, my downline. She's deceased. There's Jeff right there. There they are holding Brandon as well. This is probably 2000. So Jeff's been involved with For Life for a couple of years now, probably a bronze as well. Okay, this gentleman right here, this guy, David Phillips. He told me he'd never wear a tie to convention. He's not a tie guy. He doesn't have a tie. Eventually he did wear a tie. This is in the early days, all right? He's passed away. He's deceased. He left his son, Dan Phillips. He died a few years ago. He left Dan Phillips about $180,000 a month income. What's that, $2 million a year of residual income he left? Because Arminio and Juan are in David's downline. And guess what? David never even went to one Spanish or Latin market in his life. Upline served the downline. Gabby and I did. We spent a lot of time building Arminio and Juan and that whole organization. David was a beneficiary of it. No complaints, all right? $2 million a year of residual income he left. So just looking at some of these, how old they are, I think this is when I made International Diamond. Here's a fun one. There's David and David Lizamy and Steve too at our house. So anyhow, there you go, you guys. Some old pictures I thought I would just share with you. So having said that, you know, we love you guys. We're looking forward to helping build your organization, your team, the community, our team, actually, our entire team. So let's do it. Action, action, action. All right. Keep going, keep growing. Thanks for being part of our Mentor Monday today. All of you out in Kenya, have a great night out there. I know it's 9 o'clock in the evening. You got some great leaders that are involved. Work together, synergy. All right. And for those of you that are brand new, Sherry and others joining in today, you've got amazing people you're working with, great upline leaders, Jillian, Claudia, Dr. Ronnie. So thanks, you guys. We love you all. And I will pass it back to, is it Claudia? Is Claudia with us?
No, it's me.
Okay.
Claudia had something to do. But don't forget tonight, if you're able to get on, I know that, you know, some of you will be asleep, but we have Girl Talk at 5 o'clock, I think, San Diego time, and 8 o'clock.
It's 8 p.m. Eastern time. So 8 p.m. Eastern time. It's the same time every week, Monday. And just to give you guys a heads up, we do also have the Red Hot Topics on Wednesdays with Dr. Ronnie. Those are private talks. So if you're interested in accessing those, just reach out to me and we'll make sure you get an invite to that as well. Okay. But I just wanted to, if it's okay, Gabrielle, I just want to say thank you guys. You know, I got a quick message from Sherry. I know you just hopped on very quickly. I mean, I only talked to her like 10 minutes before the call, let her know about For Life. And, you know, it is a nice community, not only that, but I just have to, if it's okay with you, Erica shared a message last night. And I'd love for her quickly to share the results of using the products for somebody like Sherry coming in. Erica, can you just quickly share your quick testimonial? Because it made me cry last night. So thank you, if that's okay with you guys.
Okay,
Yeah,
so I had an acute pancreatic attack that started December 28th, 2016 and ended January 1st, 2017. And it has left me with chronic pain in my abdomen that even 4 milligrams of Dilaudid 3 times a day was not touching.
Wow.
Stress was a big factor. I've been still having that pain since we got here, made the move from Alaska to Arizona. And I was looking at Dr. Ronnie's kits online and saw one for pain and decided to order the Gold Factor, the Renuvo, and the Fibro. I can't remember the initials that follow that.
AMJ.
AMJ. And I decided to order those, and I got those on Friday. I took the first dose of Gold Factor, waited the 15 minutes, took the first dose of Renuvo, and within an hour, my pain was gone.
Nice.
I am beyond excited that this pain is gone. I noticed this morning that my wrist pain that I have had since the 90s is gone. And I spent all day crocheting yesterday, which would pretty much leave me not being able to use my hands today. We decided Saturday evening to give the Renuvo to our old dog, and for the first time in months, he was able to get up on our bed without any assistance. This morning, we've noticed a difference just after a couple doses.
Nice.
So I am so excited and so hopeful, and been sharing with like everyone I can think of that I know has pain.
Wow, amazing testimony.
Yeah, I love,
Yeah.
again, stories. It's funny you mentioned your dog, because my Odin, Gabby and our Odin, he's over here basking in the sun in the door back there. But Odin, come. Odin, come. Come say hi. This is our forever dog. Come.
Yeah.
No, actually, it's Carnival time on the island, you guys. So everything's shut down in the islands. Everybody's in party mode. Mardi Gras, like big left everywhere right now. But I have a rotator cuff injury where the tendons, I know it's going to probably snap any moment. So, but I've been in a lot of pain. But it was so nice to be able to get out and the Renuvo got me out to see the actual parade yesterday. I thought I was going to miss it, but I was able to walk around and get there and enjoy it. But you're right. We talk so much about the opportunity, but the baseline of the products is what sold me. And then on top of that, the opportunity in the community and your guidance and Gabrielle and Dave being so gracious. This is one of the reasons why I joined. So I just wanted to share that, especially because Sherry's new to this. And, I know you've been gracious with Dr. Ronnie and everybody else that I've met. Have been absolutely amazing. So it's always nice to see all the faces when they come on these calls.
I see we have Josie Garcia joined us. Is Josie new? Oh, you got your dog back there too. Love it. Nice. That's cool. By the way, animals, just so y'all know, transfer factor is amazing for your dog, your cat. You can even give it to if you got a mouse or a rat, But transfer factor, it's not species specific, you guys. So if you want a forever dog or forever cat, give it transfer factor. All right.
Collagen.
We use the transfer factor classic. The classic is all powder. You just basically take a scoop, throw it in their food, and they love it. Keep their immune system nice and strong.
Yeah, it's great stuff. Yeah, so share with your pets. It'll give them. It'll help. I mean, I give our dogs probiotics. I give collagen. I, give them everything that I take. I even give them gold.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we throw some gold factor. We throw in for Odin now and then. So thanks, you guys. We love you. All right.
Thank you.
And keep going, keep growing.
Yes.
You guys tonight.
Thank you.
Bye.
See you tonight. Have a
Bye-bye,
great
everyone.
week.
Bye.
Bye.